This is Tin Caps Baseball on 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM.
Welcome back to Tin Caps on Deck. Prior to this Friday night showdown between your Fort Wayne Tin Caps and the Blue Wayne Skycarp, Game 4 of a 6-game series from Parkview Field. Our pregame guest here this evening is Zach Evans. Zach, first high A home run in Game 1 of that doubleheader on Wednesday. What were you sitting on that 1-1 count? What did you see?
We had a great scouting report going in on that guy. Flipped in a lot of off speed. In certain counts too, 1-1's a count on the sheet. You know, you see the percentages. So you kind of start to think you never want to sit on an off-speed pitch, but with that guy, he's flipping it in there. So I took a chance, and he happened to throw that slider, and I didn't miss it. So.
What was that feeling for you, running around the bases, seeing that ball fly over the wall and touching home?
I think I was just relieved, get the first one out of the way, and hopefully there's more to come. But, I was just grateful, to be put in that spot and end up putting a decent swing on it. So.
You doubled in that game as well, and then we flipped the script to last night, the 8th inning, runners on second and third, tie game. You come through with a base knock up the middle. What's been the feeling for you in the box as of late? And as we were walking down the tunnel, we saw Clay Edmondson joking around, the hero of last night's game, coming through and giving the Caps a 3-1 win.
Yeah, just trying not to do too much, honestly. Knowing the situation, trying to come through for your guys. Shout out to the guys in front of me, too, for giving me good reports, help me out as much as they can. And, just trusting what I do every day, and, it's starting to pay off. So not trying to do too much and know the game.
You've been swinging a hot bat as of late. What adjustments have you made in the last week or so to kind of get you in this groove right now?
I'm really trying to shorten everything up, minimize movements. Like I said before, just really it boils down to not trying to do anything crazy, knowing who I am, knowing the player that I am, and, trusting that and sticking to it.
You and I chatted toward the end of the season last year. You were one of those 5 promotions here to Fort Wayne following a pretty hectic trade deadline for the Padres. We chatted about the end of the season, your first month here in the Fort. We now look back 7 months. Crazy to think it's been that long since we had that conversation. What do you feel like has changed for you? It could be on the field, off the field, any aspect of your life. What's changed for you in those last 7 months?
I think being more comfortable, knowing the atmosphere, knowing, what I'm going out every day and, doing. Being more comfortable, like I said before, has just kind of been the big thing. And the atmosphere, like I said, too, like I'm used to it. I'm comfortable with it now, so, that's helped me a ton, for sure.
And being a Buffalo kid, I'm sure the weather, it's been a bit cold here in Fort Wayne.
Yeah.
We were talking before we hit record. You guys had the ski masks on in South Bend this past week. Has the opening month plus of the weather in the Midwest League been kind of everything that you were expecting?
Yeah, I definitely. Everyone talked about it, before we got here the first time. They're like, oh, you came at a great time in August, and, like, you start here next year, like, bundle up. So I kind of knew what to expect, but, being out there and, feeling it for the first time is kind of like, dang, you really got to, like, keep yourself moving, stay warm, and, when you're out there, too, it's not horrible. But, it's been cold for sure, yeah.
You and Jerry Downs worked together last season. He was your hitting coach in Lake Elsinore. He's your hitting coach here in Fort Wayne this season. You lit up the Cal League, and it led to your promotion here to the Fort. What's that working relationship with JD like?
JD's great. JD really knows how to break down a pitcher when the time comes. Especially late in the game, a bullpen guy. He sees the guy warming up in the bullpen, sees his number, and he has your report ready as soon, like, before he even gets into the game. So, hey, this is the guy you most likely will face. Check him out. Shows the videos, gives the approach, and, that's all I can ask for. That helps me out so much, and, he's great with all of that. So it's a great relationship.
Looking at you defensively, you came up last year, played all over the infield, and kind of varying your spots here, whether at Parkview Field or on the road. Every game you've started and played in this year, you've played third base. That's kind of been your spot. What has that been like, getting one solid position locked in for 2026?
Yeah, it's different now. When I first got into professional baseball, I kind of bounced around. Every other game I would wake up and kind of not know where I would be, which was exciting. But now, staying at third base, I think it might be even better. I know what I'm getting into. I feel a lot more comfortable there than I have ever before. And I just know what to expect now. My movements are better. I know where to play certain guys, and, just getting comfortable with being there every single day.
This team has won 7 of their last 8 ball games. You guys have taken 2 of 3 in the series this week. How much fun has it been to be around this group in the last week or so, and just talk about the ride in this stretch and what it's been?
It's great, man. This is a great group of guys. We knew coming into this year, the guys that we had here were going to be awesome. And, win or lose, you go back into the clubhouse and you just enjoy the time being with them. You add winning on top of that, it's just it takes to a whole nother level. So it's been a crazy amount of fun for, not only myself, but I can speak for them too. It's been awesome to, be a part of this right now.
Andy Ockham here with Zach Evans prior to first pitch tonight from Parkview Field. One last question for you. Talk about growing up in Buffalo, New York. You and I had a chat before the season about one of your favorite baseball memories and being at a Buffalo Bisons game, getting Aaron Judge's autograph. Were Bisons games huge for you as a kid? Was that an integral part of your childhood baseball experience and at least watching the game growing up?
Yeah, that was our thing. You go to Sabres games, but you also have the Buffalo Bisons. You go into school, and one of the field trips you take every single year was to go to a Bisons game. You always look forward to that. So, yeah, that was a huge part of my childhood growing up, and I used to love going to those games for sure.
Zach, appreciate your time. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Lineup's first pitch coming up next right here on the Tin Caps Radio Network.
Podcasts by Federated Media.